Right, listen up everyone. They've announced that the technical regulations are changing for next season. Now there's a risk a lot of our hard work could be undone if we're not careful, so let's figure out how to mitigate this. Drivers, take a look at the developments we have and let us know what you want to invest in protecting. Alright everyone, let's get on top of this.
Hey guys, this is Warzone, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2019 career mode. And as you can see from the little clip before this, we do have a regulation change. So that's going to shake things up a bit, but all our upgrades come through, which is hopefully going to help us for the Singapore Grand Prix. And as you can see right there for a brief second, the whole chassis and aero departments are going to be resetting, so all the upgrades I have done, I'm going to have to buy them back if I want to keep them for next year. And I think the goal is just to like buy all the stuff back and then also just work on the engine after I get like most of the upgrades refitted or redesigned for like next year's regulations. And yeah, that'll be just basically the upgrade plan. So let's head into qualifying.
It's time for us to settle down and the drivers below to get fired up. Once again, welcome to Singapore as we get ready for the green light and the start of what should be a fantastic qualifying session. So then, Ant, it's another Grand Prix weekend, another exciting qualifying session ahead of us. What are you going to be looking out for over the next few minutes?
The first question is going to be who can avoid making mistakes. There isn't much margin for error in qualifying, and you have to bear in mind that the track conditions may have changed since practice, particularly as we've had a few support races in the meantime. If the brake bias settings, for example, don't take this into account, it's extremely easy to lock up a front wheel and cause a flat spot. Just like that, your lap's ruined and you've wasted a set of tyres to boot.
As we go to the very end of our first lap, we got to get out of the throttle a little there as we exit the chicane. I don't know how great our lap is end up going to be, and that's P7 for now, which is not the best. But as we move on to the next lap, I'm in the red, which is not good, and we're in the drop zone. We're like P19, I believe, and we're gonna cross the line. I don't know if that's going to be good enough there, and we're going to go out for one more run here. So this is like the third qualifying lap of doing this one session. We're in the green, so we have been going faster, but will it be enough to get us into Q2? And it's not, it's only P18, so we're out in the first round of qualifying. And George Russell actually made it into the next round. He qualified like 12th, so that's pretty good. And hopefully we can get the speed he had in qualifying for the race.
As the sun sets over the South China Sea, the sport that never sleeps is alert and raring to go. Welcome, under the bright lights of the Marina Bay circuit, to another Singapore Grand Prix. It's a very long, very physical lap, this one, and really there's not much in the way of margin for error. So we have a bit of an endurance race for you tonight. We have a high risk of a safety car here today as the abundance of tight corners mixed with these wet conditions could put a few cars off into the barriers. 23 turns then, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, make up the 3.1-mile lap of Marina Bay. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Perez, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Russell, Raikkonen, Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo, Butler, Grosjean, Alexander Albon and Sainz, Norris, Weber, Lance Stroll and Kevin Magnussen. Gasly and a Williams rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So we are going to be starting a little lower in, I believe, P20, because I took some engine penalties there by just getting some new components and gearbox and stuff, because we're already just so far down the field. But it is going to be raining for probably about half the race, a little over half the race. So we're going to be going on to wet tires. Let's go to the 5 red lights of the Singapore Grand Prix, and the lights are out, and we don't get the best start. Gasly, I believe, also took some grid penalties as it started in P19. We get a horrible start compared to everyone else, but we catch them up in the braking zone. I believe that Magnussen almost cut us off there and is just not letting us get through here. We're going to try and go around the outside here, and I believe we're about 3 wide here, and that's a very risky corner to do it in. And we're not getting very great drive off the corner. I believe that is, I don't even know why, but that's just not good. We lose multiple places, and Kevin Magnussen, each drive is by us right there. And I'm going to look to the inside here in the next corner. We still feel very slow, and it just feels like we just have no pace here for some reason, when George Russell is actually doing pretty good, I believe. And I think he is still up there, not losing any speed for some reason. He has just a much better car. I think I made my setup a little too focused on getting through the corners and not actually straight line speed. So I think that's the reason why we're just so slow in the corners. We just have our wings way too high, and that's really unfortunate, because it just makes us so slow here. And even with our drag reduction upgrades and weight reduction, it's still not enough to get us through the straights. And we haven't really done any engine power upgrades, so our acceleration isn't that good. So it's we might be suffering here a little bit, which is not what I want to happen. I want to be in the points, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be the day, because the cars ahead are pulling away, and Magnussen is like getting ready to get past us, and I just feel like it was very slow, and we just did not have any speed whatsoever in the car. And I think now Kevin Magnussen is closing up on this straight. He looks to the inside here on the first turn. I leave him the room right there, and that kind of it makes it so I go wide, but he keeps his nose in, and we go really wide, and he takes the position. But even with that wide corner, we still get a horrible exit, and Kevin Magnussen still drives away. And that is just not a good feeling to see the car just pull away from you that easily. And he just kind of zooms off into the distance, and nothing we can do about it. As we move on later, in lap 2, I believe Charles Leclerc is out of the race, one of the Ferraris. So that's going to at least make it so we are in P19. So we're going to be the last of the I feel like we're going to be like the last of the running drivers, but of everyone who participated, we're not going to be last, which is pretty good. But yeah, you can see Magnussen is still pulling away. You can barely see him in the distance as we go through the corner. And now, lap 4, just a little bit of less rain, I feel like. And we're coming in for a pit stop already. I believe we're changing to intermediate tires as we head into the pits. hopefully we can get a fast pit stop here. And we do. Pretty quick. And hopefully we can maybe undercut some people who are pitting the next lap. Yeah, some people also pitted on this lap we did, but they're kind of long gone as we get to the end of this lap. I think since someone was out of the race there, couldn't quite catch it, but I think we're going to be down to 18 runners. Yellow flag, I believe was oh, it's Kimi Räikkönen, yeah, that's who it is. He is out, and now on lap 14, the rain appears to have stopped. Or it has stopped, and we're going to come in for a dry set. And I think it's going to be most like maybe like the softs or the mediums. Or, yeah, softs or mediums. And I don't think anybody has pitted yet. We're just so far behind that when it rained, we're in the best position possible. But hopefully we can get a fast pit stop and a good outlap and maybe pass some people with an undercut. It's a little slower pit stop than normal, but it's still pretty good. And I'm going to hope for a very quick outlap here. Maybe we can get like 1 or 2 cars that are ahead with the undercut on this exit. As we get to the end of this lap, which I believe is lap 15, going on 16. The V is getting a little laggy there, but there are a couple of cars here, and we're going around the outside of we're going to try to go around the outside of Hulkenberg here. He did not leave us any space here, but we have a horrible drive off, and he is able to stay ahead. But we make a huge dive bomb, and we don't get past horrible exit. But we have DRS. We're in the slipstream, and now it seems like we're actually fast in a straight line. And we just pull around the outside of Hulkenberg to the inside of the turn. We go way wide and get past Hulkenberg. So maybe the car has a little bit of speed in the dry period, but we're in a P15 now, so we got like a couple cars, and we got like 2 cars, and they're still in the pits, and then we pass Hulkenberg on the track. But as you can see, we're not pulling away from them; they're sticking right with us. So I don't really know if this is just we got lucky there, and he wasn't just ready for the move or ready coming out of the pits. But we will see on this straight here if Hulkenberg is going to make a move. He pulls to the outside here. I leave him the room. I go very wide, and he tries to do a switchback, but it doesn't work. And we go into this chicane area here, and then we're gonna go under the stands right now. And Hulkenberg might end up overtaking us on the main straight here, but this is like the very little action I think we will get at actually overtaking a car. It also just seems like we just don't have the speed, we don't have the corner grip, we don't have the straight line speed. We only got the fastest lap because we were the first car out on the dries, but Hulkenberg looks to the inside there at the first turn. He's trying to get past here very desperately, as you can see the car ahead of us. I think that's Albon. He's just driven away, and he cannot contest with his speed. And here comes Hulkenberg. He's going to have DRS here. He's going to pull the inside. I defend quite aggressively there, barely giving him enough room, and we ended up tapping. And I outbrake him in the braking zone, but that makes us go way wide here. And he comes around the outside, and we stick our nose in. And Hulkenberg does not give us the space, and he cuts in front of us. But we were still there, which is quite unfortunate. But now Hulkenberg is past. And I think that's Grosjean. Yeah, Grosjean's attacking us here. And Magnussen's right behind. Or not right behind, but a little farther back. And as we go to lap 20 something. Can't really tell, but pretty far later in the race. We're in P14 or P16, and Kevin Magnussen is right behind us, looking for a move here. He's gonna make it into the hairpin, and it's gonna force us way wide. I was not ready for that move, and as we go down the straight here, he has overtaken us, but I look to the inside here in the slipstream. Ooh, and we touch. That is not good. That was a hard impact there. I just couldn't slow down the car fast enough again. Like, it's just, the brakes just don't feel good at all, and we're just hitting into Magnussen a lot, but he ends up getting past, and after that nothing happened at all. We finish in P17 now. A very slow car at the moment, and Lewis Hamilton ended up winning the race. Very horrible race. The worst one of the season, I feel like.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's have a look then.
At the end of the race, Lewis Hamilton won, then Vettel in second, and Max Verstappen in third. Bottas got fourth, Perez in fifth, and George Russell in sixth place. He totally just slapped me in the face with this race. He just obliterated what I could do, and he earned some good points, back-to-back points, because he got scored some in Italy and now at Singapore. So I believe he's going to move up a couple positions, maybe. Yeah, he's in like 15? Like 15th-ish, so yeah. He moved up multiple positions and scored no points, but we don't move down anything, which is good. And in the constructors standings, Mercedes is still first, not too much movement except for Renault overtaking Alfa Romeo. Yeah, at the end of the episode, from a horrible race, but even though it wasn't the best race that could have happened, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of my F1 2019 career mode. If you guys would like, hit that hit the subscribe button and like the video. See you guys in the next one.
Well,